Today I have got for you an iris buying guide. I think I've got 22 fragrances here, and they kind of run the gamut of every price range with both designers and clones, but also all of the unique ways that iris is used. This is a note that can come across kind of sweet and fruity. It's a note that can come across fresh and powdery. And it's a note that can come across like lipstick or a makeup bag, as we so often say. And so we're going to start with some that are more in that fresh vein, and then we're going to work our way into what really iris is known for nowadays, which is that sort of a lipsticky, waxy kind of feel. And again, we are going to start with some which are designers, and then we're going to move into some that are clones. So sit back and enjoy, and remember to give a powerfully powdery, floral, lipsticky click to the like button if you like the video, and subscribe if you haven't. I've got videos coming out every couple days. And let me know in the comments what are some of your top picks for iris fragrances. Unless, of course, you hate the note, let me know that as well. Let's go ahead and begin. So first, one of the fragrances I would say is kind of like a current poster child for that kind of fresh, fruity sort of iris. This is Les Beaux Les Parfums. And so this is a tropical fragrance, you know, coconut, pineapple, tonka bean, woods, and iris. And the iris is in that sort of floral, fruity kind of vein. Very interesting fragrance, and one that's perfect for kind of summer date nights, but also the fall, even the winter, because it's so sweet. But it's a great pickup and one you can discern the iris. Another fragrance that to my nose has a similar iris note, it's in that kind of fruity, sweet vein, although it does lean a little bit lipsticky, but not powdery. That's complicated, right? This is Dupes Les Parfums, and it was sort of touted as a gourmand iris fragrance, and I don't necessarily dispute that. I believe it's vanilla and toffee as two of the notes with this powerful iris note, but it's not powerfully lipsticky. To me, it's more powerfully fruity floral iris. So again, very strong, powerful fragrance, Dupes Les Parfums, one that features iris heavily. One that features iris less heavily, but it's a similar kind of iris, that sort of fruity floral iris. This is one of my favorite fragrances of all time, and one that you can usually get for like less than 40, so if you don't have it, you may really want to pick it up. I'm talking about Dunhill Icon. This is an amazing fragrance. It's got this neroli note. It's got pepper. It's got this sort of fruity floral iris, which really does come across in a similar way as it does in the last two that I showed you. And somehow whenever you put all of those things together, many people discern this fragrance as smelling kind of like grape soda. And I definitely get where they're coming from. This is a gorgeous, unique, somewhat complex fragrance with even some woods and leather in the base. You should probably get it if you don't have it. All right, another one that features that kind of fruity floral iris is a blue fragrance from Dunhill. This is Dunhill Century Blue. I love that kind of iris in a blue fragrance. There's only a few that do it that I know of. This one, again, is inexpensive. It's in the vein of something like a Bleu de Chanel, but with that iris in a pretty discernible way. Again, Century Blue from Dunhill. Another blue fragrance, this one's a clone that does a similar thing, is this one right here. It's a clone of Prada Luna Rossa Ocean EDT. This is Fragrance World Pride Moon Marine, I believe it's called, Marine Red Moon. And the Prada had a blue fragrance in the vein of something like an aquatic blue, like Dylan Blue or something, with that kind of red fruity iris. This one does a pretty good job, although to me, it is a cheaper smelling fragrance than the Prada, but they still did a pretty good job with that one. All right, another one that has a fresh iris as a note in the bouquet, but it is discernible, is Creed's Green Irish Tweed. And in my opinion, a great, inexpensive dupe of that fragrance is this oldie but a goodie, Très Nuit by Armaf. And so this one has, of course, it's known for sort of lemon verbena in the opening, but there's also this soft green sweetness mixing with that iris. I, for a long time, considered this to be a boring kind of plain fragrance. The more I've worn it, the more I've been proven wrong. This is a really great fragrance and one that most people really love. Gets you compliments as well. Très Nuit by Aromatic. Shifting gears a little bit into more of like a powdery orris. And so the root of the iris flower, one of the most well-known fragrances in that vein would be Reflection Man, but a good dupe of that fragrance is this one right here, Carrelage Chiaka Red. And it gives you that powdery orris root. It also gives you some ylang-ylang and some aromatics. So it's sort of a sweet, aromatic, powdery fragrance. And this one definitely features that orris root, I would say front and center. Another one in a similar vein, surprisingly, is this inexpensive designer from Versace, the Dreamer. It's sort of a dry tobacco fragrance, tobacco in the same way that it's used in Gourmand Jane Mon Tobacco, but it's also got aromatics and a powdery orris. Similar, in my opinion, to Reflection Man and the Dupes. And so this one's really interesting if you like that kind of thing. Again, Versace, the Dreamer, you can pick it up cheap nowadays. You might want to check it out. Probably the most well-known kind of fresh, powdery iris fragrance would be Prada L'Homme. I have a really good dupe for that one here from Riffs or Reefs. This is Avant-Garde, and it is a clean, soapy iris fragrance. It is super clean, super powdery, and this one is a very long-lasting dupe of that fragrance. To me, it's very strong. More than 4 sprays is too much. It gives me a headache. But if you like Prada L'Homme, that sort of cardamom, powdery, iris fragrance, then check this one out, Avant-Garde by Riffs. All right, now we're going to be moving into a little more of that sort of waxy, lipsticky kind of iris, and one that features just a touch of that. Even though it's not listed as a note, most consider that it probably does have a little iris in it. It's this one, Valentino Uomo, the original. This is sort of a woody take on a similar DNA as Uomo Intense with just a touch of iris. It's also got some hazelnut. It's got some chocolate. It's not an overly sweet gourmand fragrance. It's more of a dry, woody gourmand fragrance with a touch of iris. Again, Valentino Uomo. All right, moving right along, one that I think features iris in an expert way is one of my favorite fragrances that I own, and I think one of the best releases of the last 10 years. This is JPG Le Male Les Parfums. And it is a powerful 12-hour fragrance with vanilla and lavender and some mint, but also cardamom for some spiciness, and a very discernible lipstick iris note. Love this stuff. I think it is excellent perfumery and a good way to actually begin inching your way into that lipsticky iris. All right, moving now into fragrances that are known for a little more of that lipsticky iris. This one right here, Givenchy Gentleman EDP, has long been considered one of the 3 main iris fragrances. And I'm going to talk about each of those 3 in this video, as well as one that I'm adding to the list. This is probably the darkest of the main iris fragrances. It's got a good bit of sweetness. It's mysterious. It's a little bit earthy. It's awesome. Again, Givenchy Gentleman EDP. Less iris than the others that are considered the main iris fragrances. Next up, I'll mention this one. This is my favorite of the whole lot, probably of the whole video, except for maybe Le Male Les Parfums. Valentino Uomo Intense. This stuff is one of my most complimented fragrances of all time. It is an iris bomb, and it's got powerful leathery notes. It's got a good bit of sweetness. It's even got a little bit of kind of a chocolatey feel. This stuff is absolute magical, and that iris is powerful, very discernible, and quite waxy or lipsticky. One that I'm adding to the main 3, I would say the main 4 now. This is one that doesn't get enough love, but it should, because it's less expensive than the others, and it's every bit as good as the Valentino or the Dior or even the Givenchy. This is Narciso Rodriguez, that's hard to say, Bleu Noir Parfum. And it is very, very similar to Valentino Uomo Intense. It's got suede, and it's got leather, and it's got powerful iris. And I think that's why it's so similar to the Valentino. It's also got a similar sweetness, but I would say it's also 30% Dior Homme Intense. It's in the same family as both of them, more like the Valentino. It is awesome, awesome stuff. I haven't had it for long, but I'm loving it and wearing it quite a bit. And I would say the granddaddy of them all, the one that I think deserves the most credit for kind of the iris craze, would be Dior Homme Intense. And I have to thank Ash over at Gent Scents. He talked about this fragrance with such affection that I had to pick it up, and it was one of my first iris fragrances, and I've accumulated, as you can see, a lot since that time. It is awesome. I would say it's one of the best formal fragrances you can wear, although you can totally dress it down. But it is this woody, musky, little bit of sweetness, powerful, powdery iris fragrance, super high quality as well, as most Dior fragrances are, Dior Homme Intense. Now we're going to move into some clones, and I would say the best clone of DHI that I just showed you would be this one right here, Cayenne Classic by Al Watania. The only difference I would say is there is a notable quality difference, and side by side you'll know what I'm talking about. But fragrance profile, it's in easily the 90+% similar. They did an excellent job, and it's, to me, longer lasting than Dior as well. Al Watania, you can get this on Amazon now, Fragrance Buy. It's readily available and really cheap. Awesome, awesome stuff. Another dupe of Dior Homme Intense, and a really good one, is this one right here, Pandora Scents Camaro Homme Intense. Camaro Homme Intense. And this one, I think, does the waxy lipsticky iris perhaps even more than the others that I've showed you. It is a standout, so much so that it is less accurate to the Dior, but I think that's a good thing. I love that waxy iris, so I love what they did with this one. Camaro Homme Intense, really good stuff. It disappeared for a while, but you can actually get it again, thankfully, so I hope it hasn't been discontinued. All right, some dupes of some of the others. Valentino Uomo Intense. This one right here has been getting some love. This is Valencia Uomo Intense. And this one I would say is actually in between Valentino Uomo and Uomo Intense. It's got a little more of that woodiness from the original Uomo, and it's got a little less of the iris than the Uomo Intense does, but it's still, if you want something in that DNA for the low $20 range, this really is a great option. Valencia Uomo Intense. All right, a dupe of the Givenchy. Now this one is actually a dupe of Reserve Privé, but I would say it's in between Reserve Privé and Givenchy Gentleman EDP. I'm talking about Al Fakir by Fragrance World. It's not quite as boozy as Reserve Privé, and it's not quite as iris forward as the EDP. So similar to the Valencia, I said it's in between two fragrances. I think this one is in between Reserve Privé and EDP, but it is still a great pickup. Al Fakir. All right, another dupe. This one is a dupe of one that's not in this video, Dior Homme Parfum. This is FOMO Gary's Den. And Parfum adds rose, and it adds orris root. It adds some oud, and so rose added to that powdery iris and that powdery orris in particular makes this even more powdery and more floral focused. Some people say this smells like an old lady, as in Dior Homme Parfum. I don't feel that way because I love iris, but know what you're getting into with something like the Parfum or even Gary's Den here, but it is an awesome fragrance, extrait de parfum. It's powerful, long-lasting. Again, FOMO Gary's Den. All right, another dupe. This little bottle here, funny enough, is one of my favorite pickups of the past year. This is a dupe of Nishane 100 Silent Ways. This is Generic Perfumes 100 Silent Ways A+. This is kind of like if you take Dior Homme Intense and you add a super dose of sweet vanilla, Gourmand sweet vanilla, like Mercedes-Benz Club Black or Spiritus Double Vanille, that kind of powerful vanilla added in with a powdery iris fragrance. This stuff is awesome. I'm seriously considering getting the Nishane now, although this one is like a 10-hour fragrance. It's gorgeous, it's powerful, it smells luxurious and high quality. Again, Generic Perfumes. I'll put a discount code in the description for them. I won't make any money off of that, but you will save money if you use it. So check that out. And then finally, this one, I don't even know if it's a dupe, but it's in the same family as 100 Silent Ways, but it's not as sweet and it's not as vanillic, but it's got that powdery iris and it does have a little bit of sweetness. It's similar. This is Traceador Mystique, Sergio Volante Traceador Mystique, similar to a few of the ones that I just mentioned, in that it's got that powdery iris front and center. It's also got a little woodiness, a little floral vibe. I haven't heard pretty much anybody talk about this one, but it deserves to be investigated at the very least. Traceador Mystique. So that's been 22 iris fragrances. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Which of these do you love? Which do you hate? What do you think about iris? Remember to subscribe if you haven't. I've got videos coming out every couple days. And give the most lipsticky, floral, powdery, waxy click to the like button that you possibly can. I'm Justin, and this is Sillage Scents.